Hello friends, and welcome to another Modern League. We got something fresh for today, playing Hardened Scales. Here's the list we're going to be playing. I got this list from MrSeri, another streamer here on Twitch. Let's see here. You can follow them at MrSeri MTG. MrSeri is a specialist with Hardened Scales, and he also plays some other decks that I personally am a big fan of, and you might have seen on my channel in the past. He also plays the Yawgmoth combo and Hammer Time. Now, Hardened Scales is a deck that I have never played before and is quite complicated. So we're going to do our best with it, and we're going to learn some lessons as we go. So we got a turn 1 Scales. The hand is mana light, but I don't think we can reasonably say no to a turn 1 Scales, and hopefully we'll draw out of it. We do have Drum to add a little bit of extra mana, so we're going to keep this, and we'll have a 2-2 on turn 2. Opponent is mulliganing fairly heavily here. They're down to 5 currently. And they're keeping at 5 on the play, starting with Urza Saga. This kind of makes me believe that they're an Amulet Titan deck. And we draw a land. Okay. I don't think that changes anything. I think we're still just going to want to go Scales and then turn to Worker, Springleaf, Ozolith. And we can mostly use the Grove here for colorless mana. Alright, so let's see what information the opponent gives us on turn 2. Like I said, turn 1 Urza Saga made me think Amulet Titan. Most other decks will wait till turn 2 to play their Saga, so that they can start activating it. When you play a Saga on turn 1, it will be very difficult for you to get any kind of constructs out of it. Okay, so it's going to be a double Amulet game. That is legitimately terrifying. Ancient Stirrings. I mean, that is a good card, but I think that our play here... I mean, we could just put down a 2-2 Walking Ballista, but I'm not sure that's any better than what we had planned already. Hey there, Cylon. I guess we could go for the Ancient Stirrings instead of the Ozolith, and that's probably better. It's going okay. How you doing, Cylon? Okay, so we can get Zabaz. Or we can get Urza Saga. Same as always, playing board games. Nice deal. I kind of like the Zabaz, because we have the Arcbound Worker and the Ballista and the Ozolith. It seems kind of like a combo. Hey, Blind with the sub! 5 months! Incredible. Thank you so much for the support. Alright, I guess we just pass the turn at this point. Nothing else we can do. And this is just, what, a turn 3 Titan? Wow. So that's good game. They're going to be able to, yeah. Going to be able to give it haste, and then double strike. So we're going to go down to basically nothing, and they're going to have a whole bunch of lands in play. This is absolutely one of the decks that is giving Urza's Saga a chance at getting banned. Only haste? It's not going to get double strike? Because it has the Amulet of Vigor as well. I mean, double Amulet. So, like, double Amulet, if they have the, what is that? Sun something battlement? That's not right. I'm getting confused between the Hanware battlement. Okay, so they don't actually have the, they don't seem to have the card that's going to give the Titan double strike here. The deck no longer uses this card. I guess they don't need it. They gotta cut something for Urza's Saga, I suppose. So we have to set up some kind of turn 3 win. Don't know how I'm going to do that. Maybe we can get something going with Walking Ballista and Ozolith. Enough to at least kill the Titan? I don't know. So we have 1, 2, 3 mana. 1, 2, we need 4 mana to get the Zabaz, the Ozolith. And if we want to use red mana to activate the Zabaz, that's even more mana. So yeah, we just don't have the resources. Well, we're still at 14 life. And they don't have a Dryad yet. Do you think we can actually survive another turn? Without that double strike land, maybe? So we can play Animation Module, Zabaz. Kind of want to block with the Worker, which means we can't play the Ozolith. Or we could just play Zabaz, Ozolith, and then block with Worker. Now, we took a little bit of time to decide on what our play was going to be here, and I think opponent might have stepped away from the keyboard for a second. This is one of the things that we deal with in Moto. Because we have the chess clock, we're allowed to use that resource as we choose to. Ooh, they're really making us wait. There it is. So we'll just put this animation module onto the board. We had the extra mana with the Zabaz. Although it might have been better to keep both of the blockers up. So we would have had 4 toughness. We could have put all the counters onto the Ozolith. The thing is, I didn't want to lose the modular counters. So maybe I'm being a bit greedy here, only keeping the worker up as a blocker. Maybe I'm just dead, period, and I don't even realize it yet. Like I've been hit by the 5-point palm exploding heart technique, and I have taken 2 steps, but I've still got 3 more to go. Summoner's Pact. Go get another Titan, attack with a pair of Titans. No, that's a Dryad, which is obvious. Why would they get a second Titan? Just go get Dryad and then go get a pair of Valakuts. And that kills us, because that's 12 damage to our face, and we're not going to be able to prevent enough damage to live. Hey there, Slayer. Alright, so what are we going to do against Titan? We got Torpor Orb, that seems good. Chalice could potentially counter the Summoner's Pact, but that's not great. Basically hits like 1 card in their deck. 1/4 of. We got Nature's Claim against their Amulets and their Urza. Don't think we need Snakeskin Veil. Probably don't need a Welding Jar. I think their removal is Dismember, so Welding Jar isn't going to protect us. So we'll need to cut 2 more cards, if we want to keep all the nature's claims. Yeah, we got Hardened Scales, we got Zabaz, we're gonna keep this. Ah, it's a little bit of old-fashioned fair magic. That's what we're about here, yeah. So we've got a green source. We should probably make a red source for Zabaz. Llanowar Reborn for the graft. So we could play Zabaz and then play Llanowar Reborn and make Zabaz like a 4/4. I did that backwards. We're supposed to play this first. Well, that is what it is. That's what I get for being fresh and new to the deck. A little bit of missequencing. So if that's the case, it might be better to just play the Nexus this turn. Difference between a 4/4 and a 2/2 is pretty big. As we sit here and wait for our opponent to make a play, just let everyone know that I do have a YouTube channel as well. I put most of my leagues from Twitch onto the YouTubes. And one of the great things about watching Magic videos, or any videos really on YouTube, is you can adjust your play speed. So if you're watching a match of Magic and the players are taking their time, then you can, bump that speed up to 1.5 or 2.0, and it'll take far less time to get through a game or match of Magic. When I'm watching Magic on YouTube, I usually watch it at 1.5. And I would recommend that you give it a try if you haven't already. Walking Ballista. That's a nice one. So we can play the Llanowar Reborn and then play the Walking Ballista? Nice. I mean, like, totally, yeah, this is what we meant to do. No, I want to play the Walking Ballista. X is 1, okay. Okay, so this is an artifact land, so we could destroy it when it comes into play with Zabaz, immediately putting counters on the Ballista. We could probably destroy Zabaz itself, putting more counters on the Ballista. So that would be... so this is what? 3 counters up to 7, 4 counters up to 11, so I think this is lethal on board. I mean, not on board, sorry. Lethal with the Power Depot. And they're playing Summoner's Pact here, so they're probably, yeah, they got a Dryad. We're going to have to kill that. I guess we could just attack with Walking Ballista. If they block it, they have to pay for Summoner's Pact, and if they don't block it, they die. We don't have double red mana. We only have 1 red, so we can only destroy one of these things. And actually, we don't even have single red mana. Like, I was kind of counting on the depot here, but it comes into play tapped. So yeah, we don't have lethal at all here. But we could kill the Dryad if we needed to. Maybe I was supposed to just play this thing so that we could destroy Zabaz and make the Ballista big. Or even just have 4 mana to activate the Ballista this turn. But they have to pay the mana for Summoner's Pact, so hopefully we're still alive next turn. Because this uses all of their mana. But they'll have double Dryad. Or sorry, double oh, it's a Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle on Walking Ballista. Ah, okay, I should have seen that coming. I was just thinking, like, immediately, oh, double Amulet, so good. Alright, so let's think about this a little bit. This costs 3 mana, so we don't have enough mana to activate it. Let's go to our turn. Another Power Depot. So, they're at 13. Walking Ballista does not have modular. We activate Inkmoth Nexus. Destroy Power Depot, destroy Zabaz. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's not lethal. What if we use the Walking Ballista? That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9, 10, 11. Again, not lethal. Stupid Pithing Needle. We could play the Pathway, give the Zabaz flying, attack for 2 and 5 is 7. It would actually be 8 because of Hardened Scales. So what if we use the animation module? 1, 2, 3. Put counters on Walking Ballista. That's 6. And then sacrifice the Depot and the Zabaz. So that would be 6. Plus 4 is 10. Actually, that's just lethal. I think. I think we might have found it. Okay, so we... What was it? It was activate module on Ballista, and then use Zabaz to sacrifice the Depot and itself. So we need to keep the Depot and the Pathway open. Alright, let's give it a try. And I guess we can attack with Zabaz since we're sacrificing it anyways. We can attack with everything. And they'll have to block the Ballista. Alright, that took a bit of time to work it out, but we actually still have more time on our clock than the opponent does. No blocks, okay. Activate this on Ballista. 1, 2, 3. No to that. Red mana. Destroy an artifact, destroy the Power Depot. Modular on the Ballista. And this is, I believe, 4 more, I'm pretty sure. Destroy target artifact, destroys a Zabaz, red mana, target Ballista. Yes. Oh, I missed! Because Zabaz isn't in play anymore, but we still have the servo for the 1 extra damage because they didn't block it. They didn't block the servo for the win. Okay. I imagine we're going to submit with the same deck. Looks fine to me. Unfortunately, Urza's Saga does not fetch Torpor Orb. Wow, yeah, another double Amulet. Throne of Geth is pretty interesting. Okay, we're going to start with, we'll go Forest Zabaz, Llanowar Reborn Ozolith, Urza Saga Walking Ballista. Or we could put the Urza Saga down immediately so that we can go get a 1-drop with it. It would probably be better to put the Saga down. We don't have any really good hits, though, with Saga to fetch up. Like, I guess we could fetch up Arcbound Worker. The Arcbound Worker is probably good enough. This is our first game without Hardened Scales, though. So that changes quite a bit. Oh no! The Force of Vigor from the opponent destroying us. Mega Fofo, thanks for the follow, friend. Yep, Force of Vigor is really good right now. And Force of Vigor is super good against our deck. We could Nature's Claim their Urza Saga. Is that any better than hitting the Amulet itself? It takes away one of their manas next turn. Another Urza Saga, yep. Why play 1 when you can play 4? And we get a Hardened Scales here. So I think we play Llanowar Reborn and Scales this turn. And then next turn we play Walking Ballista and Ozolith. No, I'm not going to graft Azusa. Azusa and no further land drops. Huh. Okay. So we're going to play Grove, Ozolith, Ballista. And we'll kill the Azusa. So this might be getting a Pithing Needle to nullify our Ballista here, depending on what they have. No, they're going for an Expedition map to go get a Karoo land, so they can start doing their thing. Simic Growth Chamber is what they chose. Oh no, they're returning the Growth Chamber. This looks like a Dryad. Ooh, even worse. Foundation Breaker. Alright, we'll let that resolve, see what it targets. Probably target the Walking Ballista. It does. Okay, so we'll just 2 to the face. Or actually, we probably just let it get destroyed, and then the counters go onto the Ozolith. Okay, we got a Zabaz. Does not have haste, but still, let's bring it in. Throne of Geth. So we can use that to proliferate. We can sacrifice itself to itself, proliferate the Zabaz and the Ozolith. Go to combat, put the counters onto the Zabaz. Might have actually been better to wait 1 turn to do that, because we have the Throne of Geth, so we could have proliferated again, putting the extra counter on the Ozolith, which would have get us, I think, an extra 1 damage. Okay, and they're just passing the turn back to us. I like that. Inkmoth Nexus, very nice. Play Throne of Geth. So we could sacrifice the Ozolith to make the Zabaz a 10. Doesn't seem all that great. We can just sacrifice the Zabaz and make the Inkmoth Nexus lethal if we need to. Yeah. This is a lot of mana. It's Titan mana. It's Titan time! So I'm feeling pretty good right now, depending on what the prime time does. So we're just going to wait and see what the opponent fetches out, what kind of lands they get. I'm not very familiar with the Amulet Titan deck personally. I've sat across from it many, many times, but I've never piloted that deck myself. I don't know what they could potentially be getting here. If they have like a Ghost Quarter or something, that could be good. Basically any way to kill the Inkmoth Nexus. Okay, so they get Radiant Fountain and Ghost Quarter. Yep, good gets. We just draw a land. That's not too great. So, let's see here. Basically, we can, like, use Throne of Geth to sacrifice the Nexus, increase the Zabaz to a 10, and then that's 2 hits to kill them. And that's bad if they have, like, Dryad Arbor... Not Dryad Arbor, sorry. The Dryad of Elysian Grove. Oh, and we don't have white mana to give Zabaz flying. Not that it matters too much. We can crush the Titan if they block it. Oh, we can't Inkmoth kill. They have the Ghost Quarter. That was what I was going for, but they fetched out Ghost Quarter. I think we just attack with Zabaz, proliferate, and call it at that. If opponent doesn't have double strike in the deck, we should be fine. I think. So what do we sacrifice to the Throne of Geth here? If he plays Llanowar, which we know that the opponent does, usually they don't have the double strike land. We didn't see it last game, or sorry, game 1, where it would have been very good. So I think we can assume that they don't have the double strike land. What? I mean, yeah, I guess, right? Because I'm already showing that I'm not attacking with the Nexus this turn, so you can just hit anything. And that's going to remove the red, so we can't use Zabaz in that way. Okay, I guess we still have the Throne of Geth to sacrifice the Zabaz if we need to, and then we can put the counters on the Nexus. So let's just hit them for 8. We'll put them to 10, and then Throne of Geth on Zabaz is still lethal next turn. The question is, do we play the Cragcrown Pathway? Because we already have the Throne of Geth to sacrifice an artifact. So I think we can just pass. Hold this one card in hand. Yeah, the opponent can go for a kill here. Yeah, Summoner's Pact. Go get the Dryad, Prime Time. Make a bunch of Valakut triggers. But I think they need another land in order to get that started. There it is. Okay, let this happen. Sure. I should have played the Pathway so we would have double destruction. If they have Dismember here, we're in a bad way. So this is all going at our face, that's fine. Okay, we'll go to blocks. Block here. Sacrifice Zabaz. Modular on Inkmoth. And pump up our dudes again. Pass. Oh, and it's a fetch land. Bollocks. Good game. Whew. Well, that was a tough one. I think that was pretty well fought for first time playing the deck on my side. Alright, so we do not have Hardened Scales, but we got Hangarback Walker and Walking Ballista. We're on the play. I think I'm going to keep this. It's a little bit slow, but we'll see what we can do with it. Okay, opponent is mulliganed only once. We'll just play Inkmoth Nexus pass. I'm playing Infect. Okay, we'll just play Grove Hangarback. Throne of Geth is pretty nice with Hangarback Walker. So maybe we'll just play Throne of Geth next turn. Wall of Roots. We're playing against Yawgmoth. So excited. Yeah, it is. Nice. Alright, so Walking Ballista. We could kill the Hierarch with the Ballista. I don't know, I'm still thinking maybe just like Throne of Geth. Upgrade the Hangarback Walker. Okay, so next turn we can play Throne of Geth, Inkmoth Nexus, play the Ballista on 1, and then we can proliferate, sacrificing the Zabaz, which is going to put another counter on the Ballista again. So Ballista goes up to 3 counters, and we can start machine gunning down their creatures. But if they just go ahead and put down a Yawgmoth this turn, that's troublesome. Strangleroot Geist. Eldritch Evolution, the Strangleroot Geist, go get Yawgmoth. This is a really solid start. Turn 3, they got Yawgmoth on the battlefield with 1 Undying Creature. Arcbound Ravager. That's a good one. Okay, this one's newly controlled. We'll tap that. And this for colorless. Play the Ravager. So let's see here. We activate the Inkmoth Nexus, and then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is this lethal? No, it's not going to be lethal with the Yawgmoth. Pandaconda, hello, hello. Yeah, it's going to happen once in a while. Play some sort of, I play all kinds of crazy decks. Usually I would be on the other side of this matchup. Cutthroat. That's part of it. And an evolution, or yeah, evolution. So this is GG. So we're bringing Grafdigger's Cage, Pithing Needle, Relic, Soul Guide, Torpor Orb is no good. Could bring in Dismember. That's a lot of cards. I think we're going to have to cut down on the amount of graveyard hate that we bring in. Pithing Needle is good. Grafdigger's Cage is one of the best cards we could possibly have against them. So we'll stick with those two, which we can fetch out with the Urza Saga. And that's going to keep them from comboing us. Relic of Progenitus is pretty good too. And then I guess we're just going to have to trim from here. Got a Scales, got a Ballista, got a Urza Saga. This hand is gas. We'll keep this. So we might actually want to play the Urza Saga turn 1. The problem with that is we don't get to go Hardened Scales. So we probably just have to play Hardened Scales turn 1, right? Like, we can't honestly just skip that, can we? I don't think we can. As much as I want to get Urza Saga down turn 1 so we can get turn 3 Grafdigger's Cage, I don't think we can reasonably do that. So let me think here. We go Urza Saga, turn 1 Zabaz, and then turn 2 Scales nothing. Doesn't seem very good, right? And this way we're going to get a 2/2 Walking Ballista on turn 2, which is pretty good. Yeah, all right, we're going to go for the Hardened Scales right away. Turn 1 Hardened Scales is generally what this deck wants to be doing. But getting that Urza Saga out to get the Grafdigger's Cage would be sweet. Okay, we're killing that. We'll hit 2 here. I want to be able to have the opportunity to use the Ballista if I need it. Yep, that's a card. That's a really good card against us, actually. Quite good. Maybe I'll just activate the Urza Saga. we could play Zabaz and Throne this turn. Good morning. How are we doing today? Doing okay. Playing Magic, so that's a good time. How you doing? I kind of like Zabaz. The thing is, we cannot modular. We can proliferate, but we cannot modular. So maybe we do just make a construct here. Let's see if they block. They don't. Nice attack. And pass the turn. Another Hierarch. So that one can be saved by the Spellskite. Cannot kill it. And a Geist. So they got some stuff. We're going to make, I guess, 2 constructs. I like the Ozolith. Okay, go get Grafdigger's Cage. Land for turn. We can play Zabaz or we can play Ozolith. I think we'll play Zabaz. Now we got 5/5s. Let's attack. Nice. Urza Saga won this game by itself. I mean, we had these auxiliary cards which boosted the power and toughness of our constructs, but realistically, Urza Saga making the 2 constructs and fetching the Grafdigger's Cage won this game. Yeah, well, that's the power that Urza Saga gives to us. Any deck that plays Urza Saga is in a really good spot. I think Grafdigger's was the finishing blow, I agree. Grafdigger's Cage is super good against Yawgmoth combo. It stops, first off, their Undying creatures from coming back, and then it also cuts out their Chord of Callings and Eldritch Evolutions. So it kills a lot of their deck, which was why I was so interested in playing Urza Saga on turn 1, so we could have gotten Grafdigger's Cage out on turn 3 instead of turn 4. We have Pithing Needle for Yawgmoth. We have Ozolith with Workers. We're going to keep this. It's not great. But this is, again, my first league with the deck, so I am learning a lot about what kind of hand is good enough and what kind of hand isn't. And right now I am leaning towards keeping a hand. So I think I probably just play a Worker this turn. Inkmoth Nexus Worker. And let's hope for an Urza Saga off the top. Wall of Roots, classic, turn 2 play. And that's going to be able to block the Arcbound Worker all day. Alright, unfortunately we just draw a land here. So I'm thinking animation module, Pithing Needle. Obviously, Pithing Needle will name Yawgmoth. It is the namesake of their deck, so generally when you have a deck that is named after a card, that's usually the card that you want to go after. No point in attacking here. The block with Wall of Roots is just so easy. So this is 4 mana, which is enough for Yawg. They got 3 mana left, 2 mana left, and it looks like a pass. And another Ozolith. Not too interested in that. So let's see here. We could go Llanowar Reborn, play Arcbound Worker, and make a servo. And I don't think I'll graft yet. Ooh. Oh, it's on a permanent you control. That's cool. Missed that. Hey, Ferret Chippy! That's right. Best profile pick by a landslide. Thank you for the follow, friend. So, Court of Calling on 3. That's really, really bad. They're going to name Construct, I think. We'll see what they get, but I think this is going to be pretty brutal. Oh, they just go get Rex Sage. Destroying the Pithing Needle? Okay, that's pretty good. So they can go off next turn, basically. So obviously this hand was not good enough. We kind of floundered here. Oh, opponent's just passing again, so they probably got like another Court of Calling to go get Yawg on, I don't know why they would want to do that. They would just want to go off immediately, so they probably just don't have it. Oh no, another nothing. We can start like putting counters on things and going wide, but like we're not really doing much of anything at the moment. Oh well, it is what it is. So let's see, we put a counter on a thing, and then we make a thing. I guess if we're doing that, there's no point in doing it right now, because this is instant speed, so we can just wait and do it on their turn. And it looks like they're just passing back again. This can happen sometimes when you're playing the Yawgmoth deck. The deck has a lot of air in it. Speaking of air, we got quite a bit over here as well. Pass back. And they're passing back to us again. I wonder what they're drawing. They have 3 cards in hand and they're not doing anything. Like, it can't be lands. What are they drawing? Hardened Scales. I mean, that is a card that we play. It's a good card. But we don't have any way to kill the worker yet. We can start attacking with it, though. Why are we not attacking with the Nexus? Good question. Let's start attacking with Nexus. I guess the reason was so we could activate the module and get these workers to be big so that we could kill with Nexus when we got a chance. Still very little point in attacking with the worker here. Because they can so easily block it with Wall of Roots. There you go. We're going to need some of that proliferation. Well, they have a thing they want to play now. Messenger's a good one. No, I'm not going to put a counter on the Grof's Messenger. Although that is a thing we could consider, because it would turn off Undying. Okay, let's get away to sacrifice a creature. Haha! See, you just gotta ask. That's all you gotta do, you just gotta ask. So basically it doubles. Make this a creature. And attack all. And sacrificing this Arcbound Worker to put the counters onto Nexus, we should be good. Alright, sacrifice this one. Ooh, we should have maybe done that pre-combat, so that we would have gotten the extra counters from the Ozolith. That was a bit of a mistake. Yes. No, we have no mana left. So that's 6. We're going to be off by 1. This, and this, and this. Oh no, this is lethal. The Hardened Scales did it for us. Go, go, Hardened Scales. Ha ha! Take that. Nice. So we don't have Hardened Scales, but the hand looks good beyond that. Like, we have Ravager and Ozolith and Walking Ballista, so I definitely want to keep this. You mean the show about Toph and her able-bodied friends? That would be the show I'm talking about. They call me Toph because it sounds like tough, and that's what I am. First turn Ragavan. I guess we can throw a worker in front of that. And I probably want to go green with the pathways. I'm probably just going to play Grove of the Burnwillows first. The boulder is impressed. If you remind me in the break, I can show you a couple of avatar gifts that I've been working on. No attacks, love it. Okay, so we've got green mana. Do we want green mana or red mana for Zabaz? And then do we play Walking Ballista or Arcbound Ravager? Or we could just play Zabaz and Ozolith. Well, we can't be perfect, right? Is this a counterspell? Yes, indeed. So no Ozolith for us. And I guess we just pass here. I still want to have the blockers in front of the Ragavan. Because if we can block Ragavan with an Arcbound Worker, that sounds spectacular. Logamitsu, thanks for the follow, friend. Yep, no attacks, just leaving that Ragavan back, but they got 3 mana up. So that could mean all kinds of different things. Ooh, the Urza Saga. Nice. Play out this animation module. And then, do we play the Arcbound Ravager or the Throne of Geth? Pretty sure the opponent is holding up an Archmage Charm to counter a spell. So I'm thinking we'll probably throw down the Throne of Geth. Ooh, no, they're countering immediately. Force of negation on the animation module. In that case, we're playing Ravager. I guess we could still play the Throne of Geth. I don't think that would be too great. Hardened Scales is probably the only deck. I have no clue about how you should play it. Same. It is a hard deck. but I am so into learning it. Play the Ravager. I guess we can just attack all here. And whatever they block, we can sacrifice to the Ravager. Or we just sacrifice Worker, attack with Zabaz. Hey, yeah, you got it, Islands. I really appreciate you. So I try to give those VIPs to people that have stood out in the chat, and that means that you're now able to post links. Now, I say that, as I say that, I realize, like, okay, yeah, like, everybody knows how all this stuff works. Oh, this is the reason why we shouldn't have attacked, huh? I guess we could have blocked and then put the counters onto Zabaz, Urza's Saga. We could have drawn an Urza Saga, and we missed. Another Ballista. So if we play the Ballista, there's a risk of it getting countered. I would think instead we just make a Saga token, which is going to be pretty big. So let's just attack for 5, and we'll make a token. Nice. They draw 2 cards. They don't... I mean, obviously they're not going to take our Zabaz. We have an Arcbound Ravager. That could potentially steal our constructs away. But if we can resolve a Walking Ballista, that's basically game. No attacks. Thinking better of it. I mean, I guess Ragavan blocks. There it is. So what are they going to do? They're going to steal a construct? Looks like it. So we can just sacrifice it in response if that's their play. No, they're going to draw 2 cards with Archmage Charm. Go to blocks. Hey, we win. Lucky us. Alright, so opponent is playing some sort of Ragavan control deck. Don't really know a lot about it, to be honest, but I would feel pretty comfortable bringing in Veil of Summer. Don't really know anything else that I want to bring in here. I like the Snakeskin Veil. I think we're going to keep that as well. The Welding Jar I think we're going to take out. And then maybe just like an Arcbound Worker. So the Veils and the Snakeskin, I guess they're all just Veils. So the 3 Veils will hopefully protect our creatures. because opponent is going to have some pretty excellent ways to clear the board. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with this. Let's go with it. Oh, Ferret, just seeing your message now. Amulet Titan makes me feel sad for this deck, because that will be the reason Saga goes bye-bye. Yeah, Saga has been an absolutely incredible card, and I don't know any deck that uses it as well as Amulet Titan. That was our round 1 opponent, and it was some really good Magic, but they ended up winning that one. We got double Zabaz, and we got Urza's Saga. The Urza Saga seems pretty cool. We could go like turn 1 Zabaz, turn 2 Ravager, Saga, turn 3 make a construct, just ban Amulet. I mean, yeah, we could do that. I would be into that, but I've never played the Amulet Titan deck, so my opinion on this is not worth much at all. Maybe that'll be something that we have to pick up at some point before Urza's Saga gets banned. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to pick up Hardened Scales now, was so that we could play it with Urza's Saga. Turn 1 Ragavan, we got a turn 1 play as well. I think we'll play the Cragtown. Get some red mana. We have green mana with Llanowar Reborn. Plays a Baz, we got a blocker. Ah, damn. Well, that's pretty good for them. It's going to change the whole matchup. They're not going to want to play that. But getting the treasures turn after turn is terrifying. Maybe we go... Oh, the Hangarback Walker. Yeah, let's go Urza Saga Hangarback. That's some good blocker right there. Hey there, I'm just going to call you Pan for now. Hey there, Pan. Are you planning on playing some Modern Merfolk someday? I think I would. It's not something I've ever played before, but I think that some of the decks that I have played before would be similar, because I've played spirits and I've played humans. And I would be able to get a quality list by copying Nikachu. Oh no. They're just going to steal our Hangarback Walker? That's no good. So they get another treasure. Oh man, this is going from bad to worse here. So Pan, there's nothing planned yet for Merfolk, but it's a deck that I would absolutely pick up. Oh no, Veil of Summer. You're so late. So we could make a 1/1 token, which blocks Ragavan at least. We could play Llanowar Reborn into one of our creatures. We could like play Llanowar Reborn into Zabaz, but then we don't have green mana. Alright, I'm just going to play the Blinkmoth Nexus here and make an Urza token. Or sorry, a construct. Alright, I'm going to try your name now. Penchernandez is, I think, how you would pronounce that. Or it is how I would pronounce it, first go. But sometimes names can be tricky, you know? You can't just go Asmerano Mardika Destina Kaldakar. on your first try. It takes practice. Yeah, seems good. The construct is way better on their side than on ours. Do you want an Ozolith? You could play it. Yeah, I'd say we're toast. Wow. Yeah, you got it. Thank you very much for consuming the content. So let's see here. We got a Ballista. And we can go get a creature with a Saga. We can go get like a Zabaz. Block with Zabaz. We could make the mana from Saga, play Walking Ballista, Llanowar Reborn, so Walking Ballista is a 2, kill the Ragavan, and then we only have to deal with the stuff they've stolen from us. We could make a token. I'm going to make a token. We'll have lots of blockers for Ragavan. I think I want to get Zabaz with this. We could just get Arcbound Worker. We could get Springleaf Drum. Springleaf Drum would let us cast the Zabaz from hand. I would rather just cast Zabaz from the... or bring Zabaz into play. Boop. We'll play Power Depot, which gets us another artifact, so our construct is a 3/3 now, and pass back. Don't do it. Stop killing my stuff. All right, we got a 3/3 construct. Still blocks Ragavan. Oh, what is this? I would say that's GG. Don't think we want to necessarily change too much. Do we have a Pithing Needle? We don't have a Pithing Needle. Let's bring that in. We can name Teferi. No, that's Teferi, not GG. Sometimes Teferi feels like GG. The amount of value that they can accrue from that is massive. So with their board and myself having absolutely nothing, it felt like moving on to game 3 time. We have Hardened Scales, the mana to cast it. Yeah, this hand looks great. This is a really strong hand. The question is, what do we play turn 2? Do we play Arcbound Worker Ozolith, or do we play Walking Ballista. Turn 1 play is easy. Hardened Scales go. Throne of Geth. I kind of like the idea of putting out stuff that isn't, you know, like Worker. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. My reasoning is they're going to have like removal spell on their turn 2. So if we put down like a Ravager or a Ballista, they're just going to get it off the board immediately. So yeah, let's play Ozolith and Arcbound Worker. Team Ajera, thanks for the follow, friend. And we can just pass the turn. Okay, they're tapping out for Stoneforge, so we'll kill the Stoneforge at the cost of our Walking Ballista. What did they get? They chose not to use its ability? So they already have the equipment in hand, is what that means. Steam Vents tapped and pass. Maxion TTV, thank you for the luck. Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle's not really where I'm at right now. For 2 mana, they're going to have Counterspell. So I think we'll attack and play Throne of Geth. Ooh, Snapcaster Mage to block it. Okay. So we have 2 choices here. We could Snakeskin Veil to save the worker and then play Pithing Needle. Or we could activate Inkmoth Nexus, put the counters onto the Nexus, and then Pithing Needle. I'm going to put the counters onto the Nexus because we also get the counters onto the Ozolith. Okay, go to damage. Modular onto the Nexus. Got a 4/4. And then we'll play Pithing Needle. And what's the big Teferi? It's Hero of Dominaria, right? Pass turn. So we would really like to draw a land. An untapped land, please, off the top would be ideal. Veil of Summer. So if we go in for the Inkmoth Nexus, it is not protected from various things. I think I'm too scared to go in. Oh yeah, that's why Ozolith is so good. We get twice the counters. I'm going to throw a Ravager onto the board. They're going to have to throw their counterspell at this. Yeah, maybe the better play was just pass and do nothing. Yeah, that's what we should have done. Pass and do nothing. Yep, I see that now. But they're going to counter draw, so they do not bounce. Well, we don't know what they have in hand, what they were drawing to. But generally, with Cryptic Command, people have a shortcut where Cryptic Command says counter draw or tap the opponent's creature's draw. It's very rare that you do something that's not one of those things. Sure. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Damn. Even with a land, we don't quite win. Yeah, they should have all equipment in hand. You can proliferate the player next turn? Nice plan there, guys. Guys of St. Traft, nice name too. Alright. Let's hit them for a bunch of damage. So we did not get the land, which means Throne of Geth is not lethal by itself next turn. But the Batterskull isn't doing too much against the Nexus. The problem are the untapped lands. Land, please. Yes! I guess we just go for Snakeskin, because Veil of Summer's not going to work. Oh, and they have Counterspell too. Womp womp. Oh, no way! The Ozolith still works. That's cool. So yeah, it's not when they die, it's when they leave the battlefield. Good old Counterspell. Nothing beats that. They got Counterspell, they got Cryptic Command, they got Archmage Charm. Oh wow, and they're going to gain control of the Ozolith. That is basically GG. Good tech from the opponent. Let's make a Hangarback, I guess. We're going to need another Inkmoth Nexus if we're ever going to win this game, but if opponent has Counterspell, I guess we have Veil of Summer, so we're still in it. Yeah, that's not working out too well for me. We do get blockers. Oh, wow, you're right. They do have Strip Mine in their name. Yeah, the Cryptic turn was absolutely the turning point. It could have been either way, like... And then just, like, turn after turn after turn, they had the answer, the answer, the answer, after stumbling their first 3 turns. Arcbound Ravager. So I guess we play the Ravager, hold up Veil of Summer. We can block with a Thopter, sacrifice it to the Ravager. We can play Hangarback Walker, hold that up. But we don't have Hardened Scales anymore. That's a pain. I think Throne is the win point at this point. Throne can proliferate the poison. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So we just proliferate the poison turn after turn? Although this means if they have any removal for the Thopter, we're dead. We do have Veil of Summer, so we can stop them from using 1 removal spell, hopefully. Damn. Oh, that's game. GG's. We have a Hardened Scales, but it's not good on turn 1, but it's pretty good on turn 2. We go Llanowar Reborn, Hardened Scales, Arcbound Worker. Yeah, this is good. We'll keep this. Yeah, Conscript, I think you're right. Jeskai seems to be in a pretty good position right now. So this turn coming up, we go Hardened Scales, Arcbound Worker, do not graft, and then next turn we play Llanowar Reborn, Walking Ballista, and then we do graft and make an enormous Walking Ballista. Maybe not. Opponent Thought seizes our Hardened Scales, would be my guess. Hardened Scales is probably the take. Because we had tap land here. Couldn't play the Scales turn 1. Thought it would be fine. It's fine because we're going to draw Hardened Scales here, right? Thoughtseize Glitch, here we go. Ancient Stirrings. Alright, so we got a couple choices here. We can play Walking Ballista, X is 2. We could just play the Arcbound Worker. Let's Stirrings and see what we get. Okay, so we got a choice of Zabaz or the Ravager. I'm going to grab Ravager. Yeah, we're going to graft. We can get that counter back later. Yeah, colorless, and it can't really make colorless mana, can it? I wonder if Grove of the Burnwillows is good in this matchup. They look like they're a Death Shadow deck. Probably should have attacked first. I guess we have the Welding Jar to save our Arcbound Worker from a fatal push, but should have attacked first, I think. Ooh, they got a thing. Okay, so they're going to push the Ravager, so we're going to regenerate it. No, Grove is for Zabaz. I actually had to do a double take when I was looking at the deck. I didn't understand why we had the red mana at first, and it took me a little bit, but it's for Zabaz. Alright, so we have to be careful not to hit 6 at any point when we have an Arcbound Ravager on the battlefield. Alright, now play a 1/1 Shadow with no fetch land. Yeah, every once in a while. A little bit of wishful thinking. Alright, so they got another Fatal Push for the Ravager here. Let's hope they don't have a Lightning Bolt to back this up, or to follow this up. Sacrifice Ravager to itself. Modular on the Worker. Looks like they do have the Lightning Bolt. Yeah, they do. Okay, so they take out our board. Yeah, you really need the Hardened Scales, turn 1. It just makes such a huge difference. Alright, so they have the Mire. Like, this is really looking like 4-color Shadow, or maybe just Grixis Shadow. PowPow0727, thank you for the follow, friend. So I'm thinking we're gonna gain them a little bit of life here. I think that some of the decks tried working with Winding Constrictor for a little while, but it just wasn't good enough. The extra mana cost, being 2 mana instead of 1, was a big deal, but even more important was the fact that it's a creature. So you spend 2 mana to get this effect that we're spending 1 mana to get, and then the opponent Lightning Bolts it, or Fatal Pushes it, or Prismatic Ending, or on and on and on. So because it's so vulnerable, I think that's the reason why we aren't playing it. They just have another lightning bolt. How many Death Shadows is this? Oh, it's just a Lurrus to hand. Well, they have a Bauble. They should really unban Mox. That would be a thing. All right, let's put a counter on this. And attack for 3. So they would be at 6 if we didn't give them a life with Grove. Unban Twin too. Bring back KCI? Ooh, not the KCI. So they're targeting us. Twin is probably fine. Hogak? Now you're talking my language. Bring back Hogak. I mean, I love winning. I would play Hogak all day. You run Hogak in Legacy? Nice. I would love to play that. At some point, I'll just have to rent the deck and play Legacy. Jund Gak? Yeah, that's the way. Yeah. Take our turn. Ozolith. I don't think we play any of these. I think we just put a counter on Walking Ballista and attack. They'll have to block. Anger. Oh, yeah. Anger's in Modern now. But yeah, that's true. We never had Anger when we were playing Hogak in Modern. Okay, so they must block. We could have killed their Lurrus. I mean, I guess this way, like, we're putting their life total up as well, so their Death Shadows are worse, but we could have killed the Lurrus. Our Walking Ballista would be at 2. Attack them down to 5. I mean, we have lethal this turn coming regardless. They really have to either deal with a Ballista or put a effective blocker onto the battlefield. But they did draw quite a few cards there. Inquisition, sure. Anger isn't Modern. I thought that we got Anger. Maybe we didn't get Anger. Because I thought that we just got them all. Because we got Wonder, right? Just Wonder and Genesis. Okay, thanks for clearing that up. Another Ballista. That's a good one. I mean, maybe they thought Anger was too powerful, although when we don't have access to Faithless Looting, I don't think it's that great. Conscript, thank you for thinking of my health. Hydration. Okay, so they want to kill our Walking Ballista here. And if they have another Drown in the Loch, playing this Walking Ballista is bad. I think I'm just going to 4 them and play this Ballista. So they would be at 5 if we didn't use the Grove of the Burnwillows. Anger would be crazy in Dredge. That's true. Lightning Bolt at us. Okay, so they want to play a Scourge. Yep. We get a Throne. Throne doesn't seem all that hot right now, but it might be good later. I'm going to play Springleaf Drum and pass the turn. We can use the drum for the 4th mana to activate Walking Ballista up to 3. Sure. We'll take it. Oh no, they have a removal spell? Another Drown in the Loch. Yep. Alright, to them. Blinkmoth Nexus. It's down to you. Ooh, Ravager. Okay. So let's see here. We 1-2 play Ravager. 1 mana activate Nexus. And then we have 1, 2, 3. That's not enough to kill, I think. What permanents with CMC less than 2 are you playing? We got Zabaz, Arcbound Worker, Springleaf Drum, a few others. Oh, sorry, you're right. Greater than 2. None. If you're wondering why we aren't playing Lurrus, we don't have any white or black mana. So that's 1, 2, 3 total. Just off of lethal. Yeah. We caught it afterwards, per roll. But once we go back into the deck list, we can show all the cards. Cast with Dash. I think we block the Scourge here, go for lethal. We could block the Ragavan. Block the Ragavan, that way they don't draw a card off the top of our deck. Like if they drew Walking Ballista or something, we'd be in trouble. Yeah, everyone's on a bit of a delay. We could reconsider the mana base to support Lurrus. I'm running MrSeri's list. So that would be something that we would take up with someone a little bit more experienced with the deck. Okay, so what do we block? Do we block the Ragavan or do we block the Scourge? I think we block the Ragavan. We don't want them to have an extra card. Okay, we make a mana. We're going to swing lethal next turn anyway. That's the plan anyway. activate this. Sacrifice this. Okay, go to damage. Do you have extra removal spell? Yes. Cool. So the reason I really wanted to, yeah, we could have made it a 3/3 as well, but I wanted to have the flying attacker. I didn't want to lose the Nexus, because if they had played like another creature afterwards, they could have blocked the Inkmoth Nexus. Anyways, so 1 drops. Or less than things that we can search out with Urza Saga, Welding Jar, Animation Module, Arcbound Worker, Springleaf Drum, Ozolith, Zabaz, Grafdigger's Cage, Pithing Needle, Relic of Progenitus, Soul Guide Lantern, and Chalice for 0. What is the red for? It's for Zabaz, so that we can destroy artifacts. Alright, so if we're playing against, we're playing against Shadow. Don't think we have too much that's good in this matchup, to be honest. We could bring in Grafdigger's Cage to neuter their Lurrus. I mean, the deck is pretty good with fast lands. You'd be able to put in the land that taps for Concealed Courtyard, maybe. Chalice on 1 is pretty bad for us. Nature's Claim, is that going to hit anything of theirs? They could have like an artifact or something in the sideboard for stuff. Let's just bring in a Grafdigger's Cage. We want the Welding Jar. We want the Snakeskin. We might actually want Veil as well, just because the way that their removal is like Fatal Push, mostly. We'll bring in 1 Veil. So we got 2 cards to take out in 30 seconds to do it. Alright, so we have the Hardened Scales, but our only land is Llanowar Reborn. Not great. I'm going to mulligan this. Alright, we've got Urza's Saga. We'll keep this one, and we'll get rid of one of the Ozolith. It's a legendary artifact. White would give you the lifelink Arcbound Worker as well, which would be pretty nice. Is Chalice in this deck only for Chalice is 0? I believe so. You like that first hand? Fair. Another Urza Saga. Sweet. Let's just put out Forest Worker, and then we'll start bringing out a bunch of constructs. Yeah, against Shadow, we don't generally want to be mulliganing because they do have access to hand disruption, but playing Hardened Scales, we're going to be playing out our hand very quickly. So I think that opponent will be taking out their Thoughtseize. Well, not their Thoughtseizes. They need that for their Shadows. I think they will be taking out some of their cards. Some of their hand disruption. Because we're going to be playing out, like, all of our spells next turn. Snakeskin. Alright, I think we play the Ozolith and then attack. And then we'll play Arcbound Worker post-combat. Oh, they're going to Fatal Push the Arcbound Worker. Do we Snakeskin? I mean, that's basically like... I mean, Snakeskin here seems fine to me. They're going to double push. Double push. Okay. Pass turn. I wish that I could give you better answers about the deck. Ooh, destroy target artifact and make me discard a card. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, I just don't really have the experience with this deck to be able to give you really good answers. We're learning together today. Oh, Power Depot, but that comes into play tapped. We'll just play Urza's Saga and then make a Construct. And we'll do the Construct thing on their turn. Sure. No attacks. I mean, obviously it has. It doesn't have haste. They didn't dash it. Okay, we can actually just pay the 1 mana with a Saga here because we have another Saga here ready to upgrade. So we'll just tap this for 1. Okay. So what are we going to get? Because we got a lot of good options here. Could get Zabaz. Could get Welding Jar to regenerate one of our creatures, which seems really strong. Could get Grafdigger's Cage. They can't lure us. I'm really leaning towards the Welding Jar here, honestly. To just save our constructs from fatal pushes. Okay, we'll play the Power Depot, make a Construct. We got a pair of 4/4s. Let's attack. Oh, they're going to terminate. Can't be regenerated. Yep, you got it. So what do they get with the Ragavan? Zabaz. I mean, it's pretty free to play it. Why not? Okay, so they're going wide here. And you got a shadow to back it up. Yep. Terrifying. Oh, Ravager. All right, let's make a construct. And we'll go get probably Zabaz. Could go get Springleaf Drum, play Arcbound Worker. Because we already have the Ravager here to sacrifice our artifacts. And we'll pass. Uh-oh. Engineered explosives on 0. That sucks. That's going to take care of almost everything. We do have a Welding Jar. We can save one of our constructs, but that is brutal. It taps because of Regenerate, right? Yeah, EE is amazing. Engineered explosives. I wonder how much that card has gone up. Urza is going to be pretty good with that engineered explosives. Oh, Inkmoth Nexus? I mean, that is one of the things we were looking for. And pass back. Oh, I guess we can't really kill them this turn, right? Because we don't have Hardened Scales, so we can't make extra power. And I don't really want to grow their shadow. So we will not attack again. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 poison currently. Oh no, seriously? We could have killed them? How? How could I have killed them? They had blockers for our creatures. Yeah, we'll take 3. No, they had Ragavan and Zabaz as blockers. The Shadow and Dragon Rage Channeler both attacked. Sure. Engineered explosives, but they can't activate it. And they don't have a treasure. Okay. We get the Ozolith. Oh, what a draw! I think this is lethal. Unless they have Fatal Push. Yeah, that's true, that's true. If they didn't block it, they were dead. Alright, so let's see here. We play the Ozolith, we activate the Nexus, we sacrifice everything into the Ravager, put the Ravager onto the Nexus, and hope they don't have Bolt or Push. Alright, so let me think about this. They can't block Inkmoth, but if we want to use the Ozolith, we have to sacrifice pre-combat. They cannot make this fly. So, let's see here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easily lethal, if they don't have it. Now, let's go all in. I don't think we're going to win this game as a long one. Not when they have the Lurrus there, so let's just go for it. Let's see here. If you add modular triggers plus Ozolith to Inkmoth before adding, then they only save by push. So let's see here. That's 2, 3. We won't have enough. I don't think we have enough that way, right? Because we sacrifice the Construct. This goes to 2. That puts the Nexus to 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. Oh, the land! Thank you. I forgot about the land. Okay, so now we can attack. Because that's 3, 4... 3, 4. So we have to sacrifice the Construct here. And I think that makes it lethal. Yeah, we still lose the push, but this is bolt-proof, as you say. Exactsies, I think. Yeah, this is exactly 10. Okay. Is your last card Fatal Push? It is, of course. We only have 6 minutes left. We use so much time. Or is this just a match loss? Okay, we got 6 minutes to play one more game. Oh, the last card was a Fatal Push. Oh, they had the last perfect card after all that. And we didn't even bring in the Veil of Summers. Yep. Brutal. So we could bring in Nature's Claim. We know that they have the engineered explosives. But I mean, that's pretty bad if they just have the mana to activate the engineered explosives immediately because they're not paying for it. It's a 0 mana card. So I don't think we're actually going to have the opportunity to Nature's Claim. We're just going to go back in. We're going to have to play this really fast. So I'm not going to be paying much attention to chat. I mean, the Hangarback Walkers look pretty good. Whatever, I'm going to keep it. We have Grove of the Burnwillows as well. So we're just going to be using this every turn. I think we'll go Arcbound Worker first. No, we're going to go Ancient Stirrings first. See if we can find like an Urza Saga or something. No Urza Saga. We got another Hangarback Walker. Could get another Grove of the Burnwillows. Let's get the Welding Jar, I guess. Yeah, the Grafdigger's Cage might be bad. Walking Ballista. Play Hangarback. With the Welding Jar, this is awkward. I want to be hitting 6 every turn to not be losing on mana, but what if they kill our stuff? We want Welding Jar to save it. We don't get land here, so we can play Arcbound Worker or Hangarback. Killing all our Hangarbacks. Mishra's Bauble targeting us. And we get a land. That's nice. Here come the shadows. Oh, just 1 to start. Play Ravager. Ravager seems pretty good. They got an attack. Let's block with Arcbound Worker. And then we'll eat it. Put a counter on Hangarback. They want to Lightning Bolt the Hangarback in response. Let's regenerate it. This looks pretty good for us. Okay, and then I guess we just attack. This is lethal on board. They only have 1 mana to interact with us, and we have Snakeskin Veil. Nice! Okay. We managed to win the speed round. No lands in this hand, so that's going to be an easy mulligan. This hand is a keep. We got to get rid of one thing. Huh. I didn't know that. Donut, that's some new tech. Yeah, we keep this. What do we get rid of? Ozolith and Ravager is super good. Zabaz is just a better worker. So the question is, do we want Worker or do we want Ancient Stirrings? I'm kind of into just keeping the Worker. Like, this hand is good just as is. We don't need to take a turn off for the Ancient Stirrings. Let's just go, like, Zabaz, Worker, Ozolith, Ravager. And in that case, we might actually want to play the Urza Saga turn 1. So that we can immediately go get, like, another Arcbound Worker or something. So that means we are going to want red mana for Zabaz. The question is, do we want to play the Urza Saga now? So that way we just don't have the opportunity to make constructs, but we can go get another creature. We can even go get another Zabaz to trigger modular. I think I'm going to wait. The call of the constructs is too strong. All right, we're going to play the Arcbound Worker first. If one of our creatures is going to die, it's better off being the Arcbound Worker. Zabaz has quite a bit of value to it. This card is so cool. Inquisition. All right, well, they can't take the Urza Saga. That's the important thing. I imagine they're taking Ravager here, but who knows? Whatever they do, they are taking us off our plan a little bit. Okay, yeah, they take the Ravager. We get a Hardened Scales. Oh, I wish we had green mana now. So, Blooming Marsh, Inquisition of Kozilek. Makes me think of Jund. Oh, here's a Plains, so this is junk. And they go get a Batterskull. That is a problem. Do we get land? We do get land, and it's a green land too. Wonderful. Play a green land. Okay, so we got activation for the Urza Saga now. I'll attack for 1 with the Worker. They want to block that, that's fine. Get counters on Ozolith and Zabaz that way. Yeah, they just take 1, makes sense, pass turn. Make sure to activate Urza's Saga during the opponent's turn, super important. Alright, let's take our turn. We get a land, nice. So we can play this Hardened Scales. Sure. That means we cannot get Pithing Needle. Or, I mean, like, Pithing Needle's not going to be very good. What do we get? We could get Welding Jar. Could get Animation Module. Could get another Zabaz, so we Legend Rule one of them away. Could still Pith Caldria Compleat. Yeah, that's true. So we would Pithing Needle the Stoneforge Mystic in that case. Actually, we don't have Pithing Needle in the main. What am I even thinking? So our choices are Welding Jar, Zabaz, Springleaf Drum, or Animation Module or Arcbound Worker. You grab the Animation Module? Yeah, that makes sense. And if we get a little bit of time, Zabaz can keep the Batterskull from gaining life. Should be pretty safe to attack with our Construct here. They could only have 1 removal spell up. I guess they could potentially... No, they're not going to have Force of Vigor in the main. So it should be really safe to attack with this Construct. Okay, there's the Fatal Push for it. We don't have any way to sacrifice it, so that just works. Play Hardened Scales pass. If they attack with the Germ here, I'll probably just block it with Arcbound Worker. I don't know. Blocking it with a Construct is pretty attractive. Oh, they have Prismatic Ending, so yeah, that's just gone. Prismatic Ending! What an amazing card, and a great reason to play junk. Sure, we'll block. Zabaz gets large. We have no mana. Just a forest. I guess we can Animation Module on the Zabaz. Seems like a pretty solid attack here, unless they have... No, they don't have white mana, so they could not have the comp yet. So let's just attack with our 8/8. The cool thing is, if they have Fatal Push, then the counters go onto the Ozolith and the Servo. We'll just take the damage here. Want to keep that servo around as a target for modular. Another land. Zabaz is just so large. Kill the germ. Return it to their hand, replay it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Combo. Keep our life total healthy. Another Zabaz. So that grows this Zabaz. But we don't have the white mana to give it flying, unfortunately. Keep the big one. Actually, maybe we're supposed to keep the other one. Because then we modular an Ozolith. We were supposed to keep the other one. That was a mistake. Put the counters on the servo. Oh, they have Fatal Push for the servo. Yeah, I mean, that works, right? Cancel. Okay. Pay 1. Pay 1. Get a bunch of servos. Don't think there's much point in attacking here. They can just gain the life. We're just gaining them life, basically, if we attack. And we're way behind on clock. But opponent concedes. Very nice of them. They didn't have 5 mana? Ah, Orb. Orb walk. I'm sorry. Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, the opponent doesn't know. Alright. So let's think about our sideboarding. We're going to want Pithing Needle for sure. What about Torpor Orb? I don't know if the orb is good enough, but it might be. We could also bring in some number of Nature's Claims. The reason I'm thinking about the orb is stopping the Stoneforge Mystic, right? It would probably be quite a bit better on the play rather than the draw. Might bring in some number of Nature's Claim, I'm not sure yet. No, it doesn't stop the living weapon. No, it doesn't. It stops the Stoneforge Mystic. What about Dismember? Actually, I think Dismember is the way to go. Because Dismember kills everything. It kills the Batterskull Germ, it kills the Stoneforge Mystic, it kills the Compleat. Dismember. Don't really like the Chalice on 2. It's too slow. We would need 4 mana by that time. I would rather have Torpor Orb than Chalice for that reason. So what are we going to keep? We only got a minute left, and we got to take out a bunch of cards. Maybe I take out the Ancient Stirrings because we're bringing in Dismember. All right, friends. Final match. Game 2. Let's go. So we have a 1-land hand with Scales, and we're on the draw. I'm going to keep it. Risky hand. Let's see if the opponent has the turn 1 Inquisition. They do not. Land off the top, please. Give me a basic forest. Come on, deck. Basic forest off the top. Okay. Play the Greenland and Scales. Here comes Stoneforge. Yep, we're going to dismember that. So land off the top if you please. Damn. Oh, they're playing their lands. And Prismatic Ending on the Hardened Scales. Oh, brutal. We just have nothing. Let's play Springleaf Drum Pass. Well, I say we have nothing. We still have a hand full of cards. So we have that resource. Ooh. That's a good one versus us. Was not thinking of that. Deck. This is my fault for keeping a 1-lander. Saw the 1-lander, Hardened Scales, like, okay, we got turn 1 Hardened Scales, let's go. And now we're getting punished for it. We're dead. Well, I guess we should have mulliganed that hand. But opponent had a really good one this turn, so don't feel too bad about it. Arcbound Worker. And we can't even tap it to play the Ozolith. We're just dead. Concede. Yep, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. That's just, that's the gamble with keeping 1-land hands. Sometimes it's going to kill you. I think that I'm still happy playing the Dismember. And we're heading into our final game of the match, the league, and the stream. So thanks a lot for hanging out. And as per usual, we'll do a raid at the end. So if you want to stick around, there will be more magic coming up. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then maybe you can go ahead and queue up another one of my videos after this one. Choice is yours. Yeah, you got it, Venoms. Those were some adorable ferrets. Thanks a lot for coming by, and catch you later. So we do have the play that could be pretty important. I mean, in Magic, having the play is generally where you want to be. So let's take it. We have a 1-land hand that doesn't cast much of anything. Must mull. We'll keep this one. Not great, but keepable. What are we going to get rid of? Probably Snakeskin. We could go first turn Arcbound Worker, second turn Zabaz, third turn Walking Ballista. And this is green mana, so we'll make red mana with this one. But once again, we have to play a game without Hardened Scales, which is difficult. Okay, they have the Fatal Push for our first creature. Oh, Urza's Saga. But I want to go Llanowar Reborn Hangarback Walker this turn. I need the Saga, though. So we'll play Saga. We'll play Hangarback Walker. And hold up red mana. Vindicate on Urza's Saga. That works. Another Power Depot. I guess we'll play Llanowar Reborn, Walking Ballista, make the Ballista a 2, and then attack for 2. Alternatively, we could pump up the Hangarback Walker and just like pump it up. Pump it up every turn. Alright, playing out our hand. Zilzin, thanks for the follow, friend. Vindicate and Friends on Saga. Before I get Karnstruck is a story of me trying to play with it. We've seen it many times. Urza Saga is such a powerful card, they have to have that kind of level of answer. Prismatic Ending on our Hangarback Walker while we're tapped out. Brutal. This deck seems tough to pilot when your opponent has tons of 1-mana spot removals. This deck is hard to pilot, period. Dismember, not really what we're looking for this turn, but our attack seems to be okay. So let's see here. We attack with both. If they... I mean, we have double red here, so we can modular twice. You need the big brain. It definitely helps. Red mana. Zabaz, destroy the tapped depot. Modular on... I kind of want to just modular on the Ballista, honestly. Build your own reality smasher. Here's a Batter Skull, sure. So if we dismember that, they're just going to be able to replay it. Or sorry, not replay it, but equip it onto the spirit is what I mean. And we get a land. Okay. Dismember is lethal? Shit, was it? Okay, so... we dismember the germ, we Walking Ballista for 1. You can still do it? Okay. Kill their things, put Zabaz on Ballista. And the Power Depot itself. Alright, so first thing, kill the germ. Okay. And then we have to kill their spirit as well, because that's a blocker. Okay. So now we activate this for red. Destroy this artifact. Modular onto the Ballista. Puts it to 5. Destroy Zabaz. Cool. Thanks for the help, chat. Chat lethal. Fantastic. I'm really impressed. For the first time playing the deck, we managed to get a 3-2. And we were super close to that 4-1. The opponent just having the fatal push at the crux moment. GG's. You're right, but they were tapped out. So I guess they could have had Force of Vigor. Yeah, but we could have done... we didn't need to sacrifice... No, yeah, we didn't need to sacrifice the Zabaz. We could have dealt the damage, which would have still been 6. 5 from the Walking Ballista, 1 from the Zabaz, and then we could have done that last step afterwards. I don't think it would have made a big difference, though. Let's see here. What's your opponent on Hardened Scales? Resilient to removal or can fall apart? I would say both, which is a difficult thing to say. Let's get back to the other screen here. A little bit easier to see the deck when the entire screen is just dedicated to the deck. All right. So here's the thing. This deck, if the removal is destruction or damage based, we can deal with that. Because we're still going to get, the counters put onto the Ozolith. We're going to get our modular triggers. We're going to be able to use those resources, even though the opponent has destroyed our creature. And then we also have, like regenerate effects and stuff like that. However, if the opponent is exiling the creatures, that's a whole different story. A lot of our creatures, the ones with modular and Hangarback Walker, these creatures care if they die. So if our creatures are being exiled, they're not dying, which means we're not getting the value out of our creature's back end. So that's my roundabout way of saying yes and no. It's good and it's bad. Good removal spells also hit utility cards, yes. So if they can hit Hardened Scales, for example, or if they can hit Urza's Saga, those are excellent ways to interact with the deck. Also, one of the things that I personally believe, and I think that a lot of people share this belief with me, and it might even be true, I believe that this deck is difficult. There's a lot of numbers, a lot of math involved, and I think that you've seen on some of my turns where I'd be sitting around doing nothing for like 5 minutes because I'm trying to figure out the proper line of play to get a win that turn. I don't want to pass the turn to the opponent and get a win next turn. That's not good enough. I want the win now. So I found that I was spending a lot of time trying to find the line. Doesn't seem to have a draw engine or any type of go late game. True. I mean, even Hammer Time has Lurrus, and now they have the Esper Sentinel as well, in order to gain value. We gain value from Animation Module, Urza's Saga, and Hangarback Walker and Walking Ballista. So we're not drawing cards. Oh, and also Zabaz. Zabaz also gains value. So we're not... also the Ozolith. So we're not drawing cards in the traditional sense. We don't get our value by, drawing 2 cards for 1 or whatever. We get our value through our abilities. So when we lose a card, our other cards get better. And the opponent has to deal with everything. And if they're just 1 for 1 for oneing, and our creatures get whoop, 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 bigger, 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 they have to deal with all of it, or that one last Arcbound Worker will deal the last 10 damage to them in one go. It's not really a go late deck. I mean, in the sense that we're continually applying pressure. We can continue to go as long as we have resources, but once we run out, if we just have lands in play and we don't have any creatures, turn 7, then yeah, absolutely, we're going to lose that. But, turn 7, we have a Hangarback Walker and an Ozolith on the battlefield, and that's it. Still feeling pretty good. All right, friends. I think that we've had enough musings on this deck for now. As I've said many times today, I am a Hardened Scales novice, so any insights I have into the deck are going to be very first level. But I think that this was a very successful first foray with the deck, and I think that I'm excited to pick it up again at some point. So stay tuned. At some point, there will be more Hardened Scales.